What's up, everybody? Just want to do a quick market follow-up. I did an investment podcast a while ago, a couple days ago, about what my investment philosophy is and how I see the world going. And then Thursday and Friday, we started to see major sell-offs in the marketplace. So just want to cover what I think is going on there. I don't think those are major sell-offs yet. I mean, we're seeing big sell-offs in the bond market, but I personally think that this is just a rebalancing of people's portfolios at this moment. Now, is that a firm statement from me? Not yet. I'm still watching myself. Off of 2 days, I can't really tell what's happening, but we had a lot of sell-off in the bond market and a little bit of a sell-off in the stock market simultaneously. And like I said, Trump is over in Asia, Southeast Asia, doing his trips, and it's possible because there are so many events going on that are kind of shocking the system. Because I think people were expecting war with North Korea, and I don't think that's going to happen. I'm seeing that China's probably going to cooperate. And the rest of Southeast Asia is going to cooperate with Trump in getting Kim Jong-il to either leave office or replace him, and then to disarm nuclear-wise. So there's hope for that part of the world. So and with all the business agreements that are starting to go through with Southeast Asia, I think a lot of people are starting to figure out maybe we're going to have some economic development in the United States. I personally don't think it's going to be that fast. And I personally don't think that what's going on right now is going to affect the deflation that's going to come as a result of the hyper expansion of the economy due to the credit markets, due to everybody taking on debt. And this is what happens when your money becomes debt backed and is basically represented by debt. Everybody just borrows to invest. They don't even have the money, and they borrow and they put it in. They do it for real estate. They do it for the stock market. They do it for the bond market. And also, today there were 8,000 contracts that hit the market in gold on the short side, which is approximately equivalent to $4.9 million of gold entering the marketplace, meaning somebody sold it. But it's a derivative contract, so they didn't really have the gold to sell, but they dumped it into the marketplace to suppress the price. So it's possible we're entering the Great Depression, the greatest depression coming, but I can't say that that's happening yet. When they're dumping gold into the marketplace, they're trying to get people to stay out of safe havens, which they probably believe people are going to go into when you see the market sell off like that. I personally don't think that there's enough of a stock market sell off to see the crash yet. But the bond market, there was a big sell off, so it's possible. But like I said, we'll have to see over the weekend. We'll see what happens over the weekend. There are a lot of shocks going on, and especially with like Saudi Arabia, their whole governmental structure is being thrown on its head because they're starting to arrest a lot of the Saudi princes and removing them from prominent government positions to get them out of the government because it's so corrupt. And I think they're trying to get away from radical Wahhabianism, Islam, that's been driving a lot of the terrorism around the world today. And they're trying to go to a more globalist, moderate Islam where they can really increase the technology and the economy, the diversification of the economy of Saudi Arabia. Because Saudi Arabia was primarily an oil country, and over the past couple years, even a decade maybe, I've been telling everybody that Saudi Arabia is starting to go dry in terms of their oil wells. They've just been pumping so much that now they're bringing up water. So I expected this a while ago. I didn't expect it like this. I thought there was going to be a civil war. I think we're seeing civil war in a different way at the head. But possibly there could be a backlash from the heads of state changing position and the people getting upset. And they could probably backlash, especially the really hardcore Orthodox Wahhabi Islam Muslims who may get upset that a lot of their leaders are being replaced by more moderate ones, they might backlash and start attacking the Saudi government. So we could see a real potential huge civil war, or maybe it's a small thing. And in Venezuela, we saw a default on their payments of certain debt. So we're beginning to see that debt can't be serviced. And like I said, I'm still, even though the petrodollar is going to be going in the toilet soon, and we're going to get a petro yuan, I still believe that hyperinflation is a little bit further down the road, and that we're going to get the deflation first. So, and like I said, I'm a gold bug and I'm a silver bug, but a lot of people that are like, oh, I love gold right now, I'm going to buy it right now, I don't think that's the time. I like to buy things on sales, and for some reason in investing, people's mentality goes out the window. They'll go to the mall, and when they see a price drop, they'll go and buy the thing. But when they go into the stock market and the commodities markets and other financial markets and they see a price drop, they go, oh God, I'm going to lose money. It's going to die. So they don't bother to buy it at the bottom. I mean, of course, there's some assets that deserve to go down because they're worthless, so they can go in the toilet. And if you buy it then, you're just going to lose money. Or it's what's called buying or catching a falling knife. You know it's sharp. You know it's not. It's something that's in the sunset of its career. Sometimes we know. Sometimes we don't know whether it's in the sunset of its career, because it could be technology. And at the moment we may like it. Back in a couple years back, we may have liked BlackBerry and Nokia and those things, and as cell phone technologies, they were great at the time. And then look, they're gone. They're just done. You don't see them around anymore in the U.S. at least, and it doesn't mean they can't come back. I mean, I hear that BlackBerry is doing a security software component that was still left over in their business that they're focusing on, because the smartphone market is just out the window for them. But catching a falling knife is catching a company that's in the sunset of its career, and you have to kind of have a vision and understanding of the way people are behaving and the way things are going for you to know what to buy when it drops, and why you're going to buy it. Don't just buy things. And this is why I don't like to just follow people's advice and do it. I mean, I have my own analysis, my own ability to do things. So, like I said, it's a new world. We've got a crazy new world coming. I don't quite know where it's going to go. I think we're going to have cryptocurrencies be a main system in the future. But it doesn't mean the government won't be involved in them. They're decentralized right now, but the government really fights tooth and nail to get their hands in your pocket. So you may not escape paying taxes on the cryptocurrencies. So you may be making millions now, but you might have to pay half or even 2/3 of that, depending upon how the government wants to structure it. They might punish you for trying to avoid paying taxes in that way. Through a non-legal tender method. So cryptocurrencies, I think, are risky at this point. I like cryptocurrencies, but not right now. I wouldn't put my money into it. And I'm glad I went into my strategy of staying in cash and going into short-term government bonds, because it's really protected me at this moment. My shorting the market has made money these past couple days. Again, I don't believe it's going to be the greatest depression yet. So I don't see the greatest stock market crash in history occurring at this moment. But I'm not going to take my profits yet. I've tightened my stops on the positions I'm in, and unfortunately I haven't been triggered into any new positions going short on the stock market to ride it down. But I do believe we're going to see some downward pressure in a major scale, in a major way eventually. But this is really tiny. If you look back in 2008, we had 700 point down day. They had a 666 negative point day. That was all in one day. Down 200 points, down 80 points. That's nothing. But the bond market is a big one, so I'm not quite sure what people are thinking. Are they thinking inflation down the road? If they're thinking inflation down the road, they're going to most likely take out their money from a fixed instrument over a long term, because they don't know what the future is like. So they're going to go more short term, like I did. And you're going to see the yield curve invert. I don't know which way you're looking at it, because I'm doing a Instagram live and it tends to reverse. So, but if this is the short term, like today, and this is the long term, like 30 years from now, you tend to start to see an inverted yield curve occur, where the yields of the long term start to become negative as excuse me. You start to see, forget I said that. You start to see the long end start to come up as people sell off the bonds. You'll see the interest rates go up. I got myself twisted up because of the video thing. So you'll start to see bonds, the long-term bonds selling off, and the curve will start to sharpen as more people will start to go towards the short term if they don't know what's going to go on. And they may be getting their money out of debt instruments to try to get them into more inflationary sensitive instruments, thinking that the dollar is done, because the dollar keeps getting hit. It's been doing a little bit of a rally lately, but and then with the news of China, a lot of people down the road may be seeing inflation. I'm seeing hyperinflation down the road. I don't think it's going to be yet, but when it hits, it's going to be fast. I also see depression. We're already in the depression, but as a result, we're going to see a fast stock market crash at some point. But I can see them fighting it. They're going to fight it, and like I said, I want to see a bigger day down before I'm going to go, yeah, I think this is it. We're seeing like the plane run out of gas, so it's starting to do this, but it doesn't mean that it can't still fly. There may be enough vapor fuel in the fuel tank to keep the plane afloat and to keep it in the sky. And, but once all the gas is out of it, you're going to watch that plane sputter and then go into a nosedive. And that's the way I see, maybe this way is a better way, but that's the way I see the markets right now. It's a plane sailing on vapor. That's what credit is. And it's only a matter of time. And once the credit is all burnt up and your vapor is gone in your tank, that's when the crash happens. So really, it's more to me a reallocation of assets. People may be going to cash real quick because they want to see. Maybe they're going to get a better buy of some assets. So we'll have to see. Love you guys. That's my analysis. It wasn't quick, but it was quick enough. And, either way, I feel secure in my investments. And hopefully you guys are secure in yours. And hopefully you take some of my analysis to heart and start thinking about what you're going to do to protect yourself. And you will protect yourself from this danger and maybe even prosper. But if you aren't doing anything right now, I don't know what to say to you. Don't come to my house, because I'll have bullets waiting for you. If you're not my friend at this point and you haven't been doing the things you're supposed to do, don't look for help from me. I've been giving it for free to you guys all this time. I've been doing this for about 20 years, giving advice like this. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I give advice, but I've been seeing bad things happening, and I just warn everybody so that they know and they can look for themselves. And so if you lose money on your own, again, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not responsible for what happens to your portfolio. But if you make money and you want to reward me in some way, I welcome that by all means. That's a gift from you. I never turn down gifts. It's hard to get free things today, truly free things from people. So, if you're willing to give me a gift for it, great. All right. Anyway, I love you guys. Stay safe. Stay alert. Educate yourself. Truly educate yourself. And begin to protect yourself from what may be coming. I do think it's going to be pretty bad. A lot of people are in denial, thinking that we can't have a great depression in the United States and the world, because they've never seen it in their lifetimes. In fact, my grandma is the one who saw it, and she died about 90 years. She was 96 years old, 98 years old, and she died a couple years ago. And she lived through the Great Depression, but my mom never lived through it, my brother never lived through it, and I never lived through it. So a lot of people are like that. They've been through generations where they haven't lived through it. The next generation hasn't lived through a depression yet. And so they don't think it's possible, and which to me is really screwy when people don't think things are possible. They don't think your government can become oppressive and steal guns, even though all throughout history governments have done that, so they want to do gun control. You don't study history, you're going to suffer big time from it if you don't realize what's coming. So really educate yourself, take action, and even if you're not sure if it's the right action, take some action so you at least know you did something to protect yourselves from the future of what's coming. And then sit back and relax. Don't be negative about it. See, if the markets crashed 1,000 points tomorrow, I would be happy. I made money, because I did what I knew needed to be done and took action. Lights out. My trucks tell me truck talk's over, and I got to go somewhere tonight. So Love y'all. Take care. Have a good one.